Hey everyone, Mistik here, welcome back to the channel, and today I have a huge video for you guys. I've decided to begin a new series where I look at all the different jobs in Graal and see what the best ways are to do them, along with the amount of gralats and shells for trading you can gain from them. At the end of the series, we will know what truly is the best job for gaining gralats, as well as shells for trading, whether that is through digging or converting mushrooms or trash. In the premiere episode, we are going to be taking a look at the digging job. After about 10 hours of testing, I feel like I found the best ways to dig, as well as exactly how many shells and gralats you can earn per hour from digging. But before we get into this, I do have a favor to ask everyone viewing this video. As you all know, presents have been released in Graal, and I'm planning on doing a video once presents are openable that shows the rates of event coins, guns, gralats, food, and much more, so I'm in need of a lot of presents. I ask that if you want to see that video, to maybe gift one or more presents to help out in the building of the video. I will also be making a video shouting out any large supporters that gift a lot and my favorite messages I receive within them. But enough of that, without further ado, let's get into the video. Within this guide, we are going to cover everything from the very basics to the most in-depth stats to give a complete guide for everyone from beginner to pro. Starting out, we're going to be looking at what exactly digging is, and if you're not new to this game, feel free to skip this section. Next, we will look at what the best methods to dig are and the best melees to use at both beginner and high levels. Finally, I will go over the stats including the differences in shell rates at different locations and the amount of shells and gralats per hour you gain from digging. Starting off, for many new players joining Graal, it is important to explain what digging actually is. Digging is one of the many jobs in Graal era, as well as one of the most popular ones. It requires a player to purchase a shovel for 50 gralats from any shell shop. The easiest one is on the boardwalk at the beach in Northridge, shown on the map right now. Once you have acquired a shovel, you will need to equip it and begin attacking with it on sand. As you do so, shells will begin to spawn. There are 5 different types of shells. Trocus, the most common one, sells for 3 gralats. Alots also sell for 3 gralats but are less common. Nearly just as common as alots are sand dollars and scallops, which both sell for 5 gralats each. Finally, there are starfish, which are the most rare but sell for 7 gralats. While you're digging, it's also very important to bring a melee and death revive or food, as crabs will randomly spawn and attempt to kill you. Once you sell the shells from digging with your shovels at the shell shop, you will have gained a profit and can repeat the process over and over again. You can also check how many shells you have dug on your account by typing show shells in the overhead chat. As for strategy, digging is a pretty basic job, however there are a few tips to maximize your efficiency. First, find a good spot and dig in a straight line. Digging in a straight line allows you to effectively dig as fast as possible and allows you to look away from the screen, making it a moderately easy job. You will also be able to keep track of your shells very easily. I personally dig in an up-down motion, however the direction is more so up to the player's preference and doesn't affect rates. The next is choosing your spawn and healing methods. I personally highly recommend purchasing Death Revive while you're digging. This can be obtained in 2-day, 1-week, and 1-month intervals at most hospitals, or it comes free while you are on the VIP subscription. If you do not choose to purchase Death Revive, your shell rates will be slightly lower than I show in this video, as well as you'll need to bring either food or a heal item. I highly recommend you use food though, as even the 3 per tick heal staffs are very slow when digging. Another very important thing to do is to not buy shovels from the shell shop for 50 gralats, but to buy them from other players. To do this, you will need 5 hours of in-game time to be able to enter trade tables. Here, you'll be able to purchase small and large amounts of shovels for under 2 shells each. This lowers the cost from 50 gralats to around 10 times lower, costing about 5 gralats worth of shells. This is absolutely essential as it means over 800 more gralats an hour. If you're going for pure Trocus, it is important to go to the trade tables and exchange your shells for them. Sand, scallops, and starfish are sought after and will trade for more Trocus than themselves, however nobody wants arrow and generally exchange for a loss. The general rates I see are about 1.2 sand and scal for every 1 Trocus, 1.7 starfish for every 1 Trocus, and about 0.7 alots for each Trocus. Generally though, this ends up working out to be a 1-to-1 ratio after all is said and done. My final recommendation is about what melee you should use when digging. There are many options here, and I'm going to break them down into beginner and experienced player items. As for a starter, I would recommend a few items. You will need access to the trade tables to acquire most of these, which again requires 5 hours of in-game time. Starting off, I recommend buying a cheap 8 damage dagger. These can include the black and yellow crab daggers, icy dagger, or my personal favorite, the 2014 St. Patrick's Day dagger. These will cost you anywhere between 300 and 500 shells total and will be very effective in killing crabs. Also, if you are okay with spending event coins, 20 of them will buy you either a Kiwi or Hunter dagger at the event shop, which are 9 damage and fast. However, I do not recommend this as event coins are very hard to get. Once you acquire a decent amount of shells, you can then move up to probably the most cost-effective digging melee. This is the stun gun, which deals 9 damage and is fast and only costs around 2.7 thousand shells. It can also be purchased for 25 event coins, but that again is a waste. If you manage to amass 25 to 30,000 shells, you can also get the Chaplain dagger, which deals 10 damage and is fast, making it the best digging weapon, but it will set you back a lot of shells, so I only recommend this for hardcore diggers. Now we're gonna get into the most important part of the video, the stats. Now what I did here was I dug at 3 different locations to get different spawn rates, and to my surprise, there actually was a difference. I dug at the Hippie Bus in the start area, the Summer Island as an overworld safe zone, and the Storm Island to make sure I had a PK zone in the test. Before I did these tests, I just assumed that everywhere had the same shell rates, but obviously as you guys will see from these numbers, that was not true. All of the stats I show here were from 1 hour of digging at each location. I ended up having Death Revive and fought crabs off with a Void Knife, which is a 9 damage fast dagger. Starting off with the Hippie Bus, I managed to get 180 Trocus, 72 Arrow, 52 Sand Dollars, 56 Scallops, and 3 Starfish, totaling 363 shells dug in 1 hour. I also used 24 shovels in this time period, costing me 48 shells. This means that in total I gained 315 shells from 1 hour of digging. In terms of gralats, the 363 shells minus the 48 Trocus for the shovels brought in 1,194 gralats. Next up, looking at the Summer Island dig session, I was able to obtain 214 Trocus, 92 Arrows, 74 Sand Dollars, 92 Scallops, and 4 Starfish, totaling 468 shells. I also used 22 shovels in this time period, costing me a total of 44 shells. This means that I managed to dig up 424 shells in 1 hour of digging at the Summer Park Island. Those 424 shells totaled 1,604 gralats. This is a 109 shell and 405 gralat difference from the Hippie Bus, so I wanted to try a different area to get a more consistent conclusion. As you guys heard before, I chose a PK zone this time, finalizing on an area on the Storm Shop Island near the Summer Park Island. Here, I collected 212 Trocus, 70 Arrow, 84 Sand, 66 Scallops, and a whopping 26 Starfish, totaling 458 shells. Again, I ended up using 22 shovels, costing me 44 Trocus, meaning in total I obtained 414 shells in the hour. This ended up equating to 1,646 gralats. These numbers stayed quite consistent with the second test, and this showed me that it is very obvious that Hippie Bus has lower shell rates, while digging anywhere else in Graal should yield the same amount of shells. So, in conclusion, digging seems to give around 450 shells an hour before subtracting shovels, and around 1,600 gralats an hour. It will be really interesting to see where this stacks up in comparison to some of the other jobs in the future of this series. Finally, I have some other interesting stats that piqued my interest while digging. First is that a shovel takes exactly 200 hits to break and yields an average of around 33 shells per shovel. This means you have a 1 in 6 chance to find a shell with each click. As well, it usually takes 2 minutes and 30 seconds to 2 minutes and 45 seconds to fully use a shovel when you're actually focusing on digging. Next, I found out that shells that you dig will also be made grabbable by any players in the game after 6 minutes if you don't pick them up. Finally, there is a 1 in 5 chance of you digging up a crab along with your shell, as well as a 1 in 3 chance of it dropping a crab shell worth an extra 6 gralats. And with that, the episode is now over. I really hope this video helped you guys, as it was a lot of work to test and create. If you guys enjoyed the video or learned from it, please leave a like down below, as it helps me out a lot. And also comment down below what job you would like me to cover next. Also, if you're not subscribed already, why aren't you? You definitely should, as I cover all Graal updates, create guides for events, and in general make your Graal experience more fun and more efficient. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.